welcome. Yeah, welcome everyone to this webinar. So maybe I leave the stage to Elisabeth to introduce this webinar with the training center, the trainers, and so on. So, Elisabeth.
So again, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for your attention. So let's just give you the purpose of this webinar. We are happy to tell you that last year the MFCCI actually opened this training center only for MFCCI members in order to support all of you in your project of training your employees. Next. So this is the company which will sooner or later join us during this webinar. So most of them are French or related at least to the French ecosystem.
Okay.
And
yeah,
today,
maybe. Okay.
Yes. And today, to talk with you, we have 3 HRDC trainers. So myself, I've been certified already 4 years ago. Stephane.
Yeah.
Stephane is also here.
Okay. I can introduce myself quickly. So I'm Stephane. I live in Malaysia for 20 years now, and I'm a coach and a trainer. I launched my business Tao Lifestyle 8 years ago, and I'm accredited with HRDF since last year.
Okay, and I'm Antoni. I'm the managing partner of Halifax Consulting. We specialize in sales performance, but we will have the opportunity to go into more details later. Okay, so what's the agenda today? In fact, we are going to start with a warm-up, quick poll, 4 questions. Then we are going to share with you the essentials to know about HRDC. We will present you the offer of the MFCCI Training Center with our training programs. And then, as you maybe already know, there are new HRD core policy. And in particular, Stephane and Elisabeth are going to explain you how to claim, what is the process, and so on. And of course, the most important part will be at the end. After that, maybe in 30 minutes time, 25 minutes time, we're going to have a Q&A. So all of your questions, maybe you can think of the question right now, from now on. And then we will take the time at the end to give you the answers. Okay, so that's the agenda. Let's start with the warm-up. Elisabeth, are you ready for the first question?
Yes, I am. Let's go. Okay, so how many of you have already organized trainings through HRDC? Tracy, Eman?
I want to press the hand
I
now.
think all of you. All of Tracy, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Second question. So usually, which kind of training are you organizing? Mostly public or in-house or both?
For us, it's public.
Tracy, for you, it's public, only public.
No, mostly it's public.
Yes, okay, mostly are public. And Iman?
Yes, mostly public, I would say, but we still have both. So far, I would say both, because for in-house, it's more onto safety or ISOs related. For public, is other than that, yeah.
Okay, so yes, usually public is more related to soft skills, and in-house much more related to technical and of course to the core business.
Apart from that, any other topics? For example, Tracy or Agathe, in the past you were organizing?
It was mostly related for the skills of our employees, so like data management or data reporting,
Okay.
digital marketing. Yeah.
Okay. So let's move to the question number 3. So it's a quick warm-up.
Yes.
Stephane.
What was your experience when you did HRDC training in terms of the admin process, the registration, the follow-up, the claiming? Was it good, average, not so good?
Depending on the training provider, I would say for CL.
Okay.
But overall, good.
I would say
Yeah,
bad. I would say bad. Their website is awful, really hard to register, and then the process is their website is like old, very old.
Agathe, are you talking about the website or the system? Are you talking the e-tree system or the website?
Yeah, the e-tree system.
Okay, so it's different.
I mean, when you go, or there's a website that you use when you go for registration.
Right. Okay, so this is the e-tree system. Yes, it's
and even also their website, when you want to have a look at the available trainings, actually, I had the feeling this is not easy to use.
Yes, and I will explain to you why later.
Okay.
Agree with that.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's move to the last question of the poll. So now, if you project yourself in the future, do you plan to train your employees this year, Q4 2024? Yes. Next year, 2025, or not really? You are just here today for information, but with no specific plan for the future.
Next year for me.
Next year. Okay.
For CL would be yes in Q4.
Okay. Q4. And what about you, Agathe?
Next year.
Next year. And Tracy, when you say Q4, you have already decided the topic?
I think that's for me because I said Q4.
Oh, sorry. It was
That's all right.
Q4. And
Yeah.
which topic, Ayman? Sorry.
So we'll be having one this coming November related to emotional intelligence, how to navigate your emotions during the workplace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
And also signing up for the retain and training under CCIFM. So maybe I'll see Laubel physically later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it for the warm-up. Now, let's move to the essentials of HRDC. So Elisabeth, I leave you the stage for this one.
Okay, so I guess that you know, of course, HRDC, but maybe some information you don't know is there are 82,000 companies which are registered in Malaysia at HRDC. 82. And it represents and they cover 4 million and a half employees. Out of this, 4.5 million, only, and it's very interesting, only 900,000 benefit and or go to HRDC. It means that only 25% actually use this HRDC fund.
Yeah, you mean it's underused, right?
So in other terms, it's much underused, yes.
Okay.
And this is the reason why actually the government and HRDC by itself actually pushed the company to train their employees, because there is a huge demand for from the employee. and it's part again from the HR policy to train your staff.
So
I actually agree with you because, to be honest, previously when I was working with SLB, their hub for the global business shared service, I think most of them didn't really use HRDC for their employees. So that's why when I came into CL, I got the opportunity. I just really leverage it. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe one of the reasons it's maybe they don't have the proper information about it.
Correct.
But maybe another reason is maybe it's a bit complicated to go through the process for okay, and yeah, that could be a pain point.
True.
Okay. Now, what are the benefits of HRDC programs for the company, for you guys, in fact?
First of all, of course, is cost efficiency. As you know, so there, as you know, you can claim and you can receive, depending on the, of course, on the training, but you can save up to 100%. Provided, of course, you respect the ceiling fee. Of course, and then more importantly, this is the best way for you and for your staff actually to improve their productivity. And while we are talking staff productivity, more importantly, we are talking companies' productivity and competitiveness. And last but not least, all staff, including you, want to be better. So now there are more and more employees, particularly, by the way, the young ones, who really want to be trained by their company. If they don't have such an opportunity, actually they will leave the company. Now it's training, providing training and development. It's one of the key parts for any HR manager in order to keep and to attract talents.
Okay, and of course, the natural continuation of this is what are the benefits for the employees? So there are multiples, but of course, as you just said, Elisabeth, anyone want to improve their skills. We human beings, we want to be better, and if we don't have the opportunity to be trained regularly, very often I talk with companies. They tell me, oh, we have a problem. The last training was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So can you imagine if people are not trained, maybe that's one of the reasons they move to another company who are going to train them better. Okay. And in particular, the onboarding, when you listen to employees, very often what you hear from them is, I arrived in the company, the onboarding, it was nothing. I had to figure out everything by myself. So onboarding, or even for employees who are in their position for many years, I think it's a continuous improvement thing. And of course, it gives the employees some perspective for their career. They can move to higher responsibility positions because they are trained, particular leadership or things like this. And of course, if they are happy, the level of motivation will be better, will be higher, and even the atmosphere within the company will be better. It will be a better place to work on when people are happier. And yeah, of course, it's a long-term vision, and we need to update ourselves very regularly because the world is changing very, very fast. Now, let's move to the training programs, HRDC claimable training programs that the Training Center of the French Chamber is proposing you. First.
Yes. Alors, while I was talking about companies, now let me give you just another figure, very interesting one. There are more than 5,000 trainers in Malaysia. So big shows, including, by the way, the three offers. So start. So it's one of the reasons I get. For you, it's very difficult actually to select because there are big numbers. So starting from myself, so I mostly train on HR topics, and I would present you the best seller program. Eman, you mentioned emotional intelligence. There are plenty of trainers, including myself here. Maybe there is another, by the way, there is another French trainer. I don't know whether this is the one you chose, who also provide this topic. But more importantly, now I train on employer brand. So how to help the company, how to attract and retain talent. And while we are now dealing with generative AI, of course, the HR department is maybe the most affected and impacted by artificial intelligence. So this is the reason why now I train companies in order to, so that they can implement some generative AI tools.
Okay. I move to Stephane, Elisabeth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Stephane.
Okay. So on my side, I have three main registered training, which I don't see on the screen yet.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one is an awareness training. So it's targeting a bigger crowd of people, typically between 20 and 100 people. But in HRDF, you can have maximum 35. I will tell a bit more after that. And the aim of this training is to help people understand that health, well-being, and work performance are two sides of the same coin, and helping them to see their life in a holistic perspective, and giving them some specific strategies and tools to improve their health and well-being at work in their day-to-day. So then I have a deeper training, a one-day training, where we go deeper in the science of nutrition, sleep, exercise, movement, mind training, mindfulness, and helping. This is typically 5 to 10, 12 people, helping them to develop their new lifestyle blueprint with their goals and aim in terms of improving their health and cognitive performance at work. And then a more advanced training is about accessing the flow state at work. This one is deeper in terms of, and needs some skills, initial skills to be able to be done. So the previous one are important. And it's to help people achieving the flow state, giving them triggers that can help them at achieving it, understanding the flow blockers. And the flow state is really recognized as helping people to feel their best and perform really at their peak. So I do this training separately, but I also do program over a few weeks where people can take the program in a row, and starting from the big crowd, and then people interested to go for a few-week program where I help them implementing their new lifestyle strategy. So that's about it.
Thank you, Stephane. Okay, now let's move to sales training. So you have first what I call the bestsellers program. So these are the programs we have been delivering all over the world in the last 20 years now. So you have, for example, value selling, strategic negotiation, and so on. But now, you know, we just said that the world is changing very fast. So we have innovative programs. And in particular, Elisabeth mentioned the AI in HR. So what we are doing at Halifax is also a program on how to use AI for sales. And you have a lot of generative AI tools that can be used to boost the sales efficiency. We have also social selling. And again, this is something very new. How to get the most of the digital marketing, in particular on LinkedIn, this kind of thing. And we are launching a new offer in partnership with Club Med. So the first topic, as you can see, that will be a paradise training, this one. It's in Club Med in Sheraton. It's when you want to organize a team building with your team. It's large group. and you want to inspire the team. It's going to be very motivational, very inspirational. And I bring my expertise in sport, more than 30 years expertise in coaching of top athletes, world-class coaches, to transpose the winning mindset of sports serial winners into business. And of course, in this amazing environment of the Club Med in Sheringham. So it's coming. What you have here, it's the offer of the French Chamber at the moment. But we are planning in the upcoming month to add other topics with other trainers that are all selected because they are experts in their field, to bring you the highest quality in terms of training program. So Stephane, can you tell us more, because there are new things, maybe to have an update on what's going on in terms of specs?
Yes, so currently the format of the training was minimum 4 hours or half day and 1 day training to be claimable. And they have just announced in early October, the HR ministry said that they will now allow training of 1 hour, 2 hours, which will be more flexible to bring some shorter duration training. And a lot of business, one of the constraints they felt it was always half day or 1 day, and it's not always easy to have the people away from their work for so long periods. So that's a good news. Also, maybe I share that after. So there are different formats. As we said earlier, the public training and the in-house training. The public and the in-house can be conducted in MFCCI, but if you prefer, you can use the in-house at your organization and do the public in MFCCI as well. And as Antoni mentioned, there is this new opportunity of doing some training at Club Med and combine different offerings of the team here, or other people might join as well. Like the winning mindset of Antoni with my holistic health approach could be an opportunity, bringing HR, AI as well. So that could be a combination that you could do as well. This is more like a new offering for the chamber. Now, in terms of the fees, that's also a really good news. It's that they have announced that in place of being a cap of 6,000 maximum per day for the training, it would be 10,500 to enable a better quality of training as well. And there is this plan of the Asian Year of Skills in 2025 that is coming, and they really want to boost in the Southeast Asian region the talent pool of people. And Malaysia want to give that boost by bringing this higher amount of claiming. But the positive aspect is that it's 1,500 per hour can be claimed, and it can be in a format of 1, 2, 3 hours. So it will be like 1,500 minimum, 3, 4, 4.5. And before the half day was 3,000 maximum. So now it will be really more interesting for both parties to do a shorter duration trainings. Else you can also have by request asking to have above of these amounts. I've personally never done it, but it's possible. And just for you to be aware, they are training allowance, depending of the number of kilometers from the organization that can be claimed at different amounts, and you have the amounts here in the slides.
And in particular with Club Med, which is more than 100 kilometers from KL, in fact, there is an allowance per participant up to 400 ringgit. So that means the accommodation and so on can be very much taken in charge. Now, how to be surviving in the labyrinth of the process for HRDC claim? Elisabeth, can you tell us the steps?
Yes, so there is one thing which is very important for you to know, that MFCCI actually has dedicated one person or maybe 2 person in order to help you in this, as you mentioned, labyrinth. So what does it mean? That means that starting from November, I will visit many companies, including yourself, if you are available, in order to help you identify some skill gaps, and in order to help you to actually build some training to be scheduled in 2025. Another thing, again, as I mentioned, so there will be someone at MFCCI who will help you register on each application, and who will follow up with you anything which could be suitable for you. At the moment, we have a couple of trainers, but of course we plan for the 2025 to have more. So depending on your needs, we will help you actually to identify some more trainers, because as you mentioned, actually there are too much information and very, very difficult to select. And last but not least, again, so we will do our best in order to make you refunded and as soon as possible. So again, there is somebody at the MFCCI who is dedicated for that.
Okay, so now more specifically for the claiming, again, what are the steps, Elisabeth?
The step is everything we cannot avoid and cannot skip e-TRIS system. I agree with you. I got that it could be better. We have no idea whether they will improve it or not. However, the thing is at MFCCI, there are two persons who have been trained on this system. So if you have any problem, starting with your pre-registration, we are here in order to help you. And of course, we are also here, MFCCI is here in order to give you and to help you to download and to provide all documentation, because as you know, if your file is not completed, you won't be able to be refunded.
Yeah, and of course, the training programs must be compliant with the requirement of HRDC. So the French Chamber, the trainers, they will provide all the documentation that is necessary.
Yes. Yes, and same process for the approval. So we will help you we will help you from A to Z.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so now to summarize, because you have so many other training providers, HRDC registered in Malaysia, why partnering with the French Chamber for HRDC training? So the first thing, and this is our commitment, we don't provide one-fits-all training programs. It's tailor-made. We want to listen to you. We want to make sure that you have a program in mind, which is specific, of course, to your company, your employees, and you want to get the most of the training. We are here to make sure you will have exactly what you want. Number two, even if you have the best program in the world, now the second point is you need to have professional in front of you, expert and experienced trainers. And this is our mission at the French Chamber, to provide you with professionals who are recognized for their skills, for their experience, expertise in their field. So as you said, Elisabeth, in the future, next year, we are going to make the range of topics wider, but again, it will be with expert trainers. As you said, from A to D, from the very beginning to the very end of the HRDC claiming process, we are here to support you. And in fact, the combination of a well-known official organization like the French Chamber and expert trainers, it gives you peace of mind. So we take care of everything, and we provide you the highest return on investment with the cost optimization. So that's the perfect offer. Okay, so I think it's time we stop talking now, and we can move to something a little bit more interactive. So Q&A time. What are your questions for us? So please, you can unmute, you can type in the chat. We are here to answer.
Maybe you can send us a list of what sort of trainings you're going to provide, including with training profiles, training content for upcoming Q1 2025.
Yeah, a kind of catalog.
Yeah, catalog. That'll be great. So at least because I realized what you guys do is just sending out emails based on the training that you guys provided to the email PIC for each of the members for now, which I received from my country director. But if you provide a catalog, so we can actually plan out what sort of training we can actually locate for our employees over here, that'd be great. Yep.
Okay. And for example, you mentioned earlier, Ayman, that in November you have already scheduled a training on emotional intelligence, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe now for next year or later, you know that Stephane is an expert in this field. So maybe this is a kind of program that Stephane you can provide. So yeah, it's important for you to know what are the different topics the French Chamber can cover now, and regularly we are going to update the list of topics because we are going to have more and more expert trainers working with the French Chamber Training Center. Okay.
All right.
Good
Thank
point.
you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question. Yeah, nowadays more and more companies actually they take the opportunity of HRD Corp to organize a kind of team building, activity with a night in a hotel because they can claim the whole thing. And then they will do like a training session during one day. So is it something that the French Chamber is planning to offer? Like, I know some KL-based companies, they are doing it, for example, in Port Dickson because it's not so far, so it's easy to travel there. So is there like anything planned like this, maybe for the future, for 2025, or like maybe the MFCCI can build some training and then add an accommodation or something like that?
Yes, of course. And the partnership with Club Med, it's exactly the answer to this kind of programs, because we have a lot of companies, French company, but not only, who wants to organize a team building for a large number of people. They are looking for a place which is not in KL. They want to go outside, having a nice experience, and so on. So the Club Med is a perfect location. And then the topic can be winning mindset. This is the one I mentioned earlier, but depending on your objective, could be something about HR, about well-being, as Stephane said. So we can, here again, customize. We can make it tailor-made depending on what you want to do during the team building.
Okay, but if you can like offer also maybe closer place, like closer to KL.
Okay.
And because also we went to the Club Med in the past, and then this is not the same budget also. So maybe it can allow just to do like maybe 1.5 day or.
Okay. So what you're looking for is maybe not just Club Med, but alternative offers closer to KL.
Yes.
Could be also in KL, by the way. In KL, we have nice places, but
Yeah, like maybe Putrajaya, there is nice hotels too, and this is
yeah,
also
not too far. Yeah. Okay.
why not?
Okay. Well noted. So it could be also in the catalog, something, the regular training, I would say, and then for the team building, maybe different options.
Yes, because honestly, I was looking for this kind of option this year, and then today actually, this is more about like some tourism companies who are offering this kind of options. You know, they are working with HRDC trainers, and then they are building actually the accommodation, the you know, the dinner, lunch, and all this, and then they add the trainers so we can claim it from HRD Corp. But I didn't find any really programs from training companies or.
Okay, okay. Well noted. Thank you again. Any other question? Maybe Tracy?
Because NG, right, we have a lot of like, we are growing, so that we have a lot of like new boarded leadership. So we try to like, put everyone together for the leadership's program. So I don't know whether like MSCCI have this kind of like a soft skill program like to benefit our business leader.
Yeah, leadership for sure. This is part of the offer of the French Chamber. Yeah.
But
So again,
mostly,
if you want to be sure that it covers your needs, of course, we need to go a little bit deeper in the understanding. What kind of leaders, what have they done in the past, and so on. What is important to you at the moment, and we can build something very tailor-made. Yeah. So the answer is yes, I think.
okay.
I see Hafiz in the room now. So hello, Hafiz.
Oh.
Can you hear me? I don't know who is Hafiz, in fact.
Hafiz is from NG Services.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. Okay. So welcome, welcome. Okay, so if you have no more question, maybe we can ask you question for you. Okay. So Elisabeth.
Yes, I would like to know. In general, how often do you use a training program for your employees? Once a year, once a quarter, once a week?
For me, I would say 2 to 3 times a year.
Okay, 2 to 3 times a year.
Mm.
And why? What about Seoul?
Seoul, I would say every quarter at least once, maybe, depending on the needs of the business. Because let's say if, for example, at finance, maybe twice a year or once a year if there's any changes in terms of the taxation, e-invoicing, something like that, yeah. Depending on departments as well, yeah.
Okay. NG? NG?
Sorry.
Yes, Tracy, how often do you provide the training to your employees?
How often we provide the training to the employees? Quite often.
Okay, quite often.
Because we will come out the DNA,
Mhm.
then we will progress according TNA. Beside of that, any additional training that are required on time by time basis, we also will try to source as per stakeholder request.
Yes, so I guess that there is someone at NG who is specifically dedicated to source program, to arrange your schedule?
Yes. Hafiz, my team member, he is in charge of the learning and organization development.
Okay.
Yes.
And can you please share us whether do all your employees benefit this any training, or do you choose only some type of employees, or everyone can benefit at least once a year?
For NG, we at least once per year we will try to source the common topic for
Okay.
all employees. But this kind of training normally we go for quite general and common topic.
Yes. In order to be suitable for everyone.
Yes, it's suitable for everyone.
I understand. And can you please share me how, since you have you provide lots of trainings, so how do you evaluate the quality of this training?
From our side, I think basically we just based on the evaluations and also the feedback from the trainee. So normally they will come back to us like whether they take something home from the training, or how is the trainer. So we will have some sections and evaluations form to issue to the employee to fill up.
Yes. And what about the follow-up? I mean, maybe 2-3 months after the training, do you double check with your employee whether they have been upskilled or reskilled, or how do you process? How do you proceed?
For NG, I think for this part, we still need some improvement to strengthen this process, follow up after training.
Yes, I do agree with you that it's quite tough, because it requires you to have somebody who is specifically dedicated in order to double check whether this training in long or in medium or in long term has been useful for your. But actually, this is the purpose, but it's not easy to implement such a follow-up. I agree with you.
By the way, I guess you are all aware of the forgetting curve. 1 month after the training, 90% will be forgotten by the employees. It's the natural forgetting curve for anyone, unless you take it into account from the very beginning. So the preparation is super important, and the follow-up is super important. The involvement of the managers is super important. So if you don't, of course, if you optimize the cost because you use HRDC, okay, it's better. But anyway, after the training, you want to get the return on investment. So we need to discuss very precisely on how to make sure that it won't be only 10% of the training after 1 month. You need to have a sustainable effect, a long-lasting effect of the training. And this is where we can help you as well with reinforcement, coaching for the managers and so on.
Yes, thank you, Antoni. It's everything about practice. Practice after the training, whichever training, by the way.
Oh, maybe just an additional comment, maybe an idea. In the catalog itself, would it be possible if you highlight if each of the training, it will be a certificate of attendance, or there will be an exam given now, will be tests or not? So from there, we can actually emphasize to the managers, hiring managers, whether this is just based on awareness, attendance, or is it based on their own knowledge, what they understand throughout the training? Yep. Thanks.
Yes, I can already confirm you that the MFCCI always provides a certificate upon the completion of the training. Always, always. However, if you need more information, if you need maybe more support, again, MFCCI will be there.
Yeah, so there are the certificates, of course, but depending on the topic, for example, for the sales training, we want to make sure that people have really got the most of the training. So that's why we have online quiz to make sure that the level of retention is very high. And if they don't match the level of retention we are targeting, they don't get the certificate. So they need to redo it to make sure that, yeah, they have it. And very often what we do, we have a final role play in which the Halifax consultant play the role of the client, if it is a sales training, and we are going to provide them a feedback with a very specific grid of competencies. We are going to select with you the ones that you are looking for your team. And then we will provide also a mark, a score, and depending on the level, yes, they pass, or maybe they need to redo it later. So depending on what you want, it can be just a certificate, that's it, or it can be a little bit more challenging to make sure they make the effort.
And I would like to add, on my side, for my wellness training, when I do the program over a few weeks, we have a baseline of questions to understand the initial situation and the goal of the participants. And then at the end of the program, I have some Q&A and coaching session in between. And then we do the same question to make sure to see the improvement and see if the targets and the goal are met. So that's my way of doing it. And I wanted to also emphasize to you, Eman, giving the catalog on our side is one way of doing, but also if we receive the pain point that you face, we can also provide a more customized version and think creatively inside the MFCCI on how to meet your goals and propose you a creative solution. And after that, we can discuss, of course, if it's what you want. But it's another kind of seeing the problem in the opposite view.
All right.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's the point with the MFCCI Training Center. What we emphasize a lot is we co-construct the programs with you. It's not a standard program we do for any company. It's tailor-made. So we need to have a discussion before that. And you help us to help you to craft the program. In some cases, we can do also a pre-training assessment. It can be an online assessment, and then we see where they are. It's a self-assessment. We can ask the managers to assess their own team so that we can cross the perceptions. And then after the training, we can redo the assessment to see the evolution, the progress. So this is something that can help you to measure also the impact of the training in terms of progress. Okay, so I think it's almost time. Elisabeth, you want to maybe ask a last question or?
Yes, I will double check with all of you in order to arrange a meeting if you don't find, so that we can start the process on what are your needs for 2025. And as Antoni mentioned, so the target is really to help you as much as possible. I would like also to double check with you. Generally speaking, how do you select your trainers or your training center?
Maybe I can answer first. For CL, normally we do quotation comparing with the training providers. We consider two things. First, the quality of the content of the training. And the second one would be the pricing as well. So other parts would be we will check based on the reviews on the Google, how does it look like, and from the quotation itself, from the comparings, I will present to my country director to choose which one is the best to propose, something like that. Yeah.
But how do you source? Because again, among 5,000 plus training
How do I
centers,
source?
yes, how do you source? How do you select these people at the beginning? How do you find them?
Oh, find. So I would say generally I check Facebook, Google, and also the previous providing trainers emailings that we met when I went to the the exhibitions, like the previous one, HRDC exhibition. So from that kind of sources I pulled up. Yeah.
The background. Yeah. What about you, Agathe?
So me, usually, this is the employee himself or herself who is coming already with a few options. Because this is exactly the challenge that I said at the beginning. When you go on the HRD Corp website, there is no intuitive tool that you can use. For example, I don't know, you're looking for a management training and then you can just put the keyword management and then there is all the training coming. There is no tool like that. So basically, we use Google and yeah.
Yeah, so you give us an idea, Agathe. We should have a tool like that at the French Chamber.
Yes, for
the
sure.
Training Center to make it crystal clear. What are you looking for? Is it already there? Or maybe something what the companies can say, hey, I'm looking for this. And maybe in the future, that could be a new topic that we can provide. Yeah.
Yes, like keyword. I don't even know why they don't have it in the HRD Corp website.
Yeah.
Because it
maybe
would be
that's
easy
feedback.
also for the employees, in order to request if, let's say, they have any training needs, they just have to the HRD Corp website and then share this to their HR.
Most probably, as I mentioned, is because of the amount of training provider. So it's very, very difficult, of course, to manage. This is the first reason. There would be another reason. Actually, in terms of trainers and training providers, they are either already the big and well-established training provider, who everybody knows more or less, and all individual trainers who have their own network. And in between, there are very, very few actually operators. What does it mean? That means that, of course, the big and the well-established training centers, they have much more resources in order to advertise, in order to promote their training center, and so on and so on. So the thing is, these training centers, not all of them, but many of them, of course, they work on based on the volume. What does it mean? That means that they try to get as many trainers as possible and to pay them as low as possible, of course, in order to increase their profit. So I would say that it's a bit challenging for many trainers and particularly for the small ones because it's not easy to make them visible. Another thing also, and the HRDC now is improving its process. There is very few ways and tools in order to qualify any training providers and any trainers. The rating actually doesn't exist, or very, very little.
Okay, so this is the end of this webinar. We hope you enjoyed it. So what are the next steps? Very first next step, Shalini will send you an email with this QR code. So it's a survey in which you have a series of questions. So feel free to do it. I think it will be good after the survey if you want to have a consultation, if you want to book a one-to-one meeting with the French Chamber, depending on the topic. Could be Elisabeth, could be myself, could be Stephane. And then you have the contact email of Shalini here, and we will be happy to help you discuss your project for this year or for next year if it is in 2025. Okay. So I think that's it. Thank you.
very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
good day.
Have a
Have a
good
good
day.
day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Bye.